the railway yards of the Whitehorse and Yukon Railway. The train is full of cruise boat passengers who will connect with return buses at one of the 2 stops along the way. With around 400,000 passengers per year, it is Alaska's most popular shore excursion for the many summer cruise boats that visit Skagway. This railway is listed as an International Historic Civil Engineering Landmark, which puts it on the same plane as the Eiffel Tower, the Panama Canal and the Statue of Liberty. During the 26 miles from Skagway at sea level to the summit, we rise 2,865 feet. Construction began in 1898 and was completed in 1900. Hundreds of workers were employed and 450 tons of explosive was used to blast through the mountain rock. It was the great Klondike Gold Rush of the late 1890s that provided the incentive to build this railway. The original 110-mile railway links Skagway on the Alaskan Pacific coast with Whitehorse in the Canadian Yukon. However, at present, the line is only operated to Carcross, a distance of 67.5 miles. The economics of constructing a terrace for the railway around the steep mountain faces forced the owners to decide on just a narrow gauge railway of 3 feet wide. The company didn't just have to face physical hardships, there were difficulties with the Skagway Council and local crime boss Sophie Smith. As the trip progresses, we get some spectacular views. We can even see the snow-capped Chilkoot Mountains 60 or more miles away. It's a photographer's delight. For part of the trip we travelled beside Dead Horse Trail, which is named for the hundreds of pack horses which died along the way. They were worked to death. When it was constructed at the turn of the 20th century, this steel cantilever bridge was the tallest of its kind in the world. Thousands of prospectors climbing the pass were stopped at the Canadian border. Restrictions required each prospector to have enough supplies to last for 1 year. So the prospectors made countless return trips up and down the mountain, backpacking 50 to 60 pounds at a time. This was done in winter, through the deep snow and along difficult, narrow tracks. A typical prospector would need to make 30 round trips to carry sufficient goods. A distance in all of around 2,500 miles. So we reach Fraser in Canada, where the Canadian Customs can check our passports and visas, and some passengers will board buses for the next part of their journey. In 1898, the prospectors built a large tent city on the shores of Lake Bennett. Before the lake's ice broke up, they constructed all manner of sailing craft to travel across the lake and down the Yukon River to the goldfields.
Interesting things about the Klondike Gold Rush is that it was clearly the first fully recorded mass event in human history. Now, it was because, first of all, George Eastman invented the Kodak camera just 3 years prior to the gold rush. He had the money to buy a Kodak camera, and they brought it along. And they took picture after picture and sent them home. Today, because of that, we have thousands of pictures of the Klondike Gold Rush, both up in Whitehorse at the Yukon Archives and at the National Park Service in Skagway.
In late May 1898, as the lake ice broke up, 7,124 boats left on the 500-mile trip down the Yukon River to the Klondike goldfield. Not all would make it. Lunch is provided in minutes in the railway station dining room, a filling meal of Irish stew and bannocks. With the incoming train from Carcross arriving, it's time for us to proceed along the now open line.
This little hair off the back of the section was well stocked with reading material because a bear might come between you and your bed at night, cause a mile short of their destination to go into sad. This is all history brings you scenic trail bridge.
Carcross, nothing to do with motor vehicles, but caribou crossing. And it's here that our train journey will finish. But before we carry on, it's a chance to wander around the small settlement, look at the historic monuments, Carcross has a general store, stocked with just about everything you can imagine. It's like stepping into an Aladdin's cave of treasures. And we can inspect the remains of the old paddle steamers that once plied along the Yukon River. But now it's time for us to continue on to Whitehorse. We travel by bus, but perhaps one day the railway will again travel along the rails to the capital of the Yukon.